and welcome to Journey with the Kellers. My name is Amanda Keller and today we are in the Keller kitchen. So today we are going to be working on another gingerbread house, and today it is going to be one that's from the Magic of Gingerbread cookbook, but I'm not going to do it exactly like she does it in the book. I'm actually going to try a few other techniques that I've seen from other people who have put videos and stuff up about gingerbread houses, and just see if some of those techniques work as well, okay? So I will try to tell you something I am doing that is maybe from the book, and then something that I am doing that maybe I've just seen in other videos and wanted to try to see if it would work, okay? So I'm also gonna be going along and tinting my icing as I go in instead of tinting a bunch out, just because I'm not exactly quite sure what exact colors I'm gonna do for what parts, okay? So we are making a haunted house today, and this is it. So this is the little haunted house. It's very cute. So it's an actual house this time. I am noticing that some of my gingerbread is very flimsy. I don't know that I got it done all the way, so I'm a little worried if it's gonna stand and not bend. So I guess we're going to learn a little bit this time, because I don't think maybe I got that baked all the way. Not quite sure. So if you do need the recipe for the gingerbread or for the royal icing, you can check out the gingerbread puzzle cookies that I made. There's a video of that up, and at the beginning of that, it shows me making the gingerbread and the icing, okay? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started here and show you guys the different things, and I'm gonna move you closer so you can see. So I'll be back and I will move you guys up so you can see what I'm doing. Hey you guys, so this is the front and the back of the house. Now I put a door in the back of the house too, even though it didn't say we had to, but I kind of wanted a back door on my house. Why not? So also, in order to do the doors, so there was no door cut out on this template, and this template was provided by the book. And so in order to do a door, we just took a small round cookie cutter and you just pressed it in. And then right where the sides are, you just took a knife and cut straight down, and that's how you make your door. Now this door's a little taller than that door, but that's okay, okay? You could also make gravestones this way if you want. So like if you wanted the rounded top gravestone, you could use the circle cookie cutter again on the gingerbread, but instead of pressing it all the way down so it makes a complete circle, just press the top half of it down and then go down like this. And then that way you won't have the circle imprinted into the gravestone. And then you would have a little gravestone as you're cooking them, okay? So one thing that is different about this one, and this comes from the Magic of Gingerbread book, is for the windows, so we cut windows in them, but it also has these backs for the windows. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna flip these over, okay? And there's ones on the sides, so here's the sides as well. So there's windows on the sides, we're gonna flip those over too. And what we're gonna do now, she has it to where you go ahead and just flood this with yellow icing. If you wanna do that ahead of time, you're more than welcome to. I'm actually not going to. I am going to stick them on. And then that way I can flood it with yellow icing when, once they get dried on. Now you could also just not put the windows in and draw on the windows. This is just a way to make the window look indented, okay? So I'm gonna put some brown icing on here, and we're just gonna put that on. Make sure you're doing, the right side. That's gonna be going out the window. And as you can tell, I didn't quite get this cut all the way, but it's big enough, it fits anyway, so it's not a big deal. You're gonna go ahead and paste that down, okay? Now, once you get these all pasted down, you probably should let them dry for like an hour, I would think. But since I'm going to be flipping them over and something's going to be there to kind of hold them down because there's something underneath of it, I'm not going to worry about letting them dry too much. I'm just going to flip them over and then start on a couple of the other things that will need to dry before we put it together, okay? So I'll be back as soon as I get these all on and flipped over, and then I'll show you what we're gonna do next. So now, as you can see, they're in there. So now you can fill that in with some frosting, some colored frosting, and like a yellow later. And so it'll kind of look like there's a light on in the house, okay? Now there is also a door. So you can do this as an inner door as well if you want. You could also use this as a, you know, like a template for the door. But this is actually going to be my outer door. I'm going to leave my inner door dark. So this is going to be the front of my house with my inner door. This will be the back of my house. I think I said the opposite earlier, but that's okay. This will be, because this is too big for this anyways. So this will be my inner door, or my front of the house with the door, which will be open. And I'm going to leave I'm not going to put anything in there because I kind of want it to look dark. You know, should be a dark, kind of spooky house. Okay, so these here are shutters, all right? And we're gonna go ahead and put some shutters on each of the window. Now, also the one thing that I didn't do was they had a circular window up here, okay? And I did not put mine in, and I will show you why in a little bit. But I'm gonna put some brown frosting on the shutters here, and we're gonna glue them on, okay? You can do like one straight and maybe one not so straight. Maybe one kind of jagged like that. You could maybe even do one like hanging off a little bit if you want. Okay. So I'm gonna do these on the front of the house. I think we're gonna have that one kind of wacky. Do these on the front of the house and the side of the house. And then if you want, you can color these before you put them on and let them dry with frosting, or you can do them after, or you can just leave them kind of dilapidated and brown looking. It's up to you, okay? So let me get these last couple ones on here. Now they also had half circle shutters that you could do, that, you know, little half circles right up here. I didn't do those. If you wanted to do those, you would just do, again, a small circular cookie cutter and then cut it in half, and that would give you a half circle here and a half circle here, okay? So if you want to put some of those on, you would have to cut them out and bake them from the beginning, okay? All right, so I think I have a couple extra things, but that's okay. And again, too, if you want to do the circular window with shutters, it would do the same thing as you would do for the half here. You would use a whole cookie cutter, and then you would do a whole round cookie cutter, and then you would cut it in half and do half next to the circular on each side of the circular window. Okay, so there those are on. Now, what I was meaning by the reason why I didn't put a round window at the top is because I am actually going to put an eyeball up there. So I have these nice little marshmallow eyeballs, so I thought, why not use it, right? And that'll look kind of funny, be like a Cyclops house. Okay, we're just gonna put some frosting on there. Oh, and that's not the front of the house, you guys. I'll wipe that frosting off real quick. And put the eyeball right there on the front of the house. So let me wipe off that frosting that I put on there, although it probably won't matter, but we can wipe it off anyways, okay? Most of this stuff can be covered up later anyways. Okay, so that takes care of the front of the house. I'm gonna set that aside, well, the front and the back. I'm gonna set that aside for now, and I'm gonna let it dry. We probably will come back to it to do some outlines and stuff around it too. So that'll be in a little bit, okay? All right, so now I am going to be working on the roofs. And for this, I am going to need purple dye. So I am gonna put this bag in an airtight container to keep the frosting from hardening up. And I'm gonna make me some dyed purple icing, and I will be right back to show you guys what we're gonna do for the roof, okay? So I'll be guys. So we're also going to do the door right now too. So here is where I'm going to be using a little bit of a different technique. So in the book, the roof is purple, which I am going to do. Now it is a darker purple than this, but this is the darkest I could get it because right now I am using up some of the food dyes. These are like cheaper food dyes. So they take a lot more to get them to darker colors. If you have the Wiltons like these and purple, it would probably, you could dye it a lot darker, a lot easier. But since this was, I want to use these up. I don't want to waste money buying dyes for what I already have. So it's a little bit lighter than what I wanted, but that's okay. Okay, so it is purple in the book. In the Magic of Gingerbread book, she did the top purple. It was a darker purple, but that's okay. So what she did was outline the roof, which is what I'm going to do. And then she took another thing, half of purple frosting, and made it into what they call a flood consistency, which basically just means they add water to it until they get it so it's kind of runny, so that they could just kind of spoon it on here and spread it out. But I did see on another video that you don't necessarily have to do that for a flood consistency, that you can actually use your piping consistency. So we're gonna try this. I am using #1 tip and a coupler, and I was using a #1 tip for the brown as well. Okay, so for the piping, you're just gonna come and follow the line of the roof. I don't know that I'll ever be good at straight lines, you guys. My hands are just too shaky, but that's okay. Okay. The good thing is about royal icing is most of the time you can still make it look good even if it's not perfect. So you do want to make sure that if you make any kind of a mistake where it actually goes off of the roof, that you do fix that. Okay, like either, yeah, see, like I'm trying to do there. Just kind of rub your finger on it, take it off, and then continue piping, or you could use a napkin or something to rub that off, because you don't want it to over flood the cookie because that line's not there. You want it to go all over. So like I said, hopefully you guys, oops, there was an air pocket in there. Hopefully you guys can do a better straight line than me. My hands just do not do it, okay? And then I'm also gonna outline the door because we're gonna flood this in a purple too. Whew. So bad. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I am gonna take this piping tip off, and I'm just gonna have the coupler there. This is a bigger piece. So if you were using a small piece, like maybe on the door, I might wanna use a smaller, like another tip that's maybe bigger than the one, but not huge like this. But since we're just using this, so what I'm gonna do is kind of spread some on there, okay? And then she said you could just take, well, actually, I think spread it first with like a spoon, because this is a bigger one. So I'm just gonna use a spoon, because that's what I use when I do the flood consistency. And so you just kind of push this out, kind of like you're frosting it. I don't know why you couldn't just kind of frost it, okay? To me, anyways, it's a spooky house, so having the roof look kind of gnarly is perfect, right? All right, so I'm gonna kind of spread this out like a frosting. And then for like the corners and stuff, you just use like a Q-tip. Or not a Q-tip, I'm sorry, a toothpick. Why did I say a Q-tip? So you just use like a toothpick and push it into the corners. And then there you have it, okay? So I'm gonna try this for the whole thing, and then, you know, of course, I'm gonna let it dry for a little bit before we put the house together. But yeah, I don't know. It might take a little bit more time than just using the flood consistency, but it does prevent you from having to make the flood consistency, which is kind of nice. So I'm just gonna kind of make some stripes on here, and I'm gonna try to finish this, okay? All right, you guys, so I will be back once I get these all done. Not too bad though. Should just be the corners, that'll be rough. Okay, so I'll be back for the next part in just a minute. So those are done. Now, it doesn't make it as smooth. When I saw it on the video, hers did look pretty smooth, but that's okay. So since this is for a haunted house, I'm okay with things kind of looking not so smooth. And then I did use like a Reese's peanut butter cup on the door, or peanut butter cup, a Reese's Pieces or orange one on the door as the little handle, okay? So now we're gonna flip over to the front and the back of the house, okay? Now the front and the back of the house, this top part here is green in the book. I don't really want it to be green, so I am actually going to do it orange, okay? So again, we're gonna start out by outlining it. And honestly, I probably should have waited to put the eyeball in until I had done this part, but that's okay, you know. Thinking ahead doesn't always quite work. That's okay. Get a little bit of lines here. Okay. Oops, went off the cookie there a little bit. Okay, so there's that. And I am going to flood the back one. I'm not sure if I am going to flood the front one. I may just make it look, you know what, since the eyeball is there, I think what I'll do is just kind of scraggly lines. Like he's got, you know, instead of redness around the eye, he's got orangeness around the eye. Okay. One more, I think there. And one little one here. There we go. Okay. So there's the top done. I hope you guys can see that. Kind of looks cute. I like it. Okay. So for the back part, I am going to go ahead and basically do what I did with the roof. I'm going to take the tip off and I'm just going to put a little bit on here and then use a spoon to spread it out. Okay. And maybe a toothpick if I need it. Okay. All right, you guys, so I'm gonna get this all done and then I'll be back to show you the next steps. Okay, so I'll be back, guys. So the orange is done. Okay, well, at least for this part. I might come back and use it on some other things a little bit later. Okay, so now we're gonna fill in the windows with some yellow. Now I did do this in a flood consistency because this is pretty much the only part I'm gonna use yellow for, so I don't really need to get a bag out or any of that to do outlines. So all you do to make your icing into a flood consistency is just add a little bit of water, usually like a teaspoon or so at a time. Okay, and then for the flood, you're just gonna put it in there and try to push it around. I'm definitely gonna have to use some toothpicks to get into the corners. I usually like to use a spoon for most of it, just because I think it's easier to get everything in there. So we will just, oops, got some up there, I didn't want that. Okay, so then you're just gonna get it all in the corners as best you can and make sure you fill it all in, okay? And then once this has dried a little bit, we will come back and use black and do like the cross things, or you can just leave them orange or yellow. I haven't decided yet quite which one, if I'm just gonna leave them all yellow or if I'm gonna put the black around it. I may just leave it all yellow because I kind of like how it looks. Kind of looks like big glowing eyes, right? So he'll have eyes on his head and front and back eyes on his body, I guess you would call it. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna get this finished. I'm gonna do the sides and the front and back windows, and then I will be back to show you what we're gonna do next, okay? So I'll be back. So we got the yellow all done, and now it's just gonna have to dry. So now I'm gonna use some green, and all I'm gonna do with the green is do some outlines. So like around the door here, I'm just gonna outline that in green. Now you could do this in black too. I just wanted to get a little bit of green in it, since it should be, to me, it should be Halloween colors. Okay. We're gonna outline this one in green, although black is a Halloween color too, and I probably will use some black here in a little bit. Okay, and then I think for the shutters, I think even though, so in the book they just put like little dots for like handles on them, but I think I'd kind of like to outline them. So I'm gonna outline them in green. And then I'm gonna do like little lines for shutters. Okay. Like that. I'm gonna do that on all of the shutters. And then I think on the little door over here, I think I'm gonna outline him in green as well, okay? The roof I'm not, I'm just gonna leave purple because we're gonna do something else with that here in a little bit. And I may outline the tops of the roofs in a green as well, or I may wait and I may do that in a black. I'm not quite sure yet on that one. Just to get a little bit of black in there. So we'll see what I come up with. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish these shutters and then do my outline on my little door here. And then I will be back to show you what we're gonna do next. And we're almost done with these, enough to let them just sit and dry before we put the house together, okay? So I'll be back, you guys. Okay, you guys. So we have those all done. I think it looks pretty good. So now we're gonna do the final couple of things that we're going to do before we stop to let this all dry so we can put it together, okay? So in the book, they did a really cool thing of basically doing like a spider web on one side of the roof. I think I'm gonna take it just a little bit farther than that and do it kind of all over the house, okay? And then I'd like to draw like a big spider as well. Oh, and I did outline the back part of the house in the green, but the front part I left in the orange because it already kind of looks like it's outlined. So yeah. Okay, so here we go. So first for the spider web on the roof. So the roof is gonna go this way, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm trying to look at the picture here and see how they did it as well. Okay, that looks good. Okay, so we're gonna start about here. You can draw your spider web any way you want, if you even want to put one on there. And what I'm doing is I'm gonna go straight down, okay? And then I'm gonna bring one in from over here. And then have one go here. And then have one go here. And one go here. Just like that. I need to fill this one in a little bit. There we go. Okay, so then you're just gonna kind of do, you can either do circles or hexagon shapes. I'm gonna try to do circles. Okay. Like I said, you could do like E and do straight lines in between each one if you want to do that as well. And then we will do this one. And I think that'll be it for that. Okay, so that'll be it for that one. So now on the other part of the roof, I think I'm just gonna do like, let's see. So if it was together, let's say like, oh, I just stuck my finger in it. That's not good. Like this. So let's say it comes over a little bit onto here. And we'll have that go all the way down, I think. And then maybe we'll have it, I know what we're gonna do we're gonna put the spider there. So I found this black jelly bean, and that's gonna be the body. So I'm gonna have that right there. And then I'm gonna put his 8 little legs. I made some black frosting. And I'm just gonna put his 8 legs in. We wanna make him fairly big. Oh, where's the frosting? Is it coming? Let's not be squeezing hard enough. There we go. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, and 4. And 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so there's his spiders, or his legs, his spiders. And then I think we could just kind of do like maybe little ones down here. So let's say we start at this corner, come to the middle, and do here to here. Have someone here, maybe a little bit here, and one kind of going off this way. And then this one we'll kind of do in a hexagon shape. Okay. It's just going to be kind of a little spider web. Okay, and then I'm not going to do a jelly bean for him because this is going to be a smaller spider. So we'll just put a little dot, black food dye, or black frosting, not food dye. And then try to give him 8 legs too. 1, 2, 3, 4, oops, 4, 5, 6, 7, oops, and 8. Well, I don't know how well that went. It's not too bad. Okay, so we got a little spider web there. And then I think in the front of the house, instead of having a web on, I think I'm just gonna draw a spider in the window, okay? So we're gonna put a big little dot, that. And then he's gonna have 8 legs. All right, got a spider in that window. Now, kind of wish, I wonder if I can draw a ghost. So this was supposed to have like cookie cut out ghost, like mini ones, but I couldn't find one at the store, and I didn't want to order it. I just, you know, I'm trying to not spend as much money on all that stuff, and I figure for a mini one, I would only use it for this one thing, so it wasn't really worth it to buy it. But maybe I can just draw a little ghost on here. So maybe we do his head. It's a little rounded. Then his arms. That. And his other arm. Like that. And then he's kind of got a little flowy tail. And this one can go almost straight down. Oh, not bad, you guys. So now let's see if we can just kind of fill it in a little bit. So he looks like a ghost. That's not too bad at all. Look, the tip's actually working almost better than using like a spoon. I'll have to remember that next time. Oh, my dog is wanting in. She's gonna have to wait a minute. Okay, so get him filled in. That's cute. There we go. Oh, I missed a spot over here. There we go. And then we're gonna do 2 little eyes. So we're gonna use the black, make a tiny black dot there and a tiny black dot there. There we go. I got one little ghost on there. And then let's see, do we want another ghost on? Maybe. Maybe we want to put another ghost like on the side, or do we just want to, I think we just want to leave the sides just with the windows on them. So let's do another ghost. Maybe they had one originally up here, but the eyeball's up there. So maybe I'll just put one kind of floating. Maybe we'll have one peeking out of the back window. That would be a good idea. Okay, so again, do the little head and the arms. This one's gonna have to be a little bit littler because it's a smaller space. Then his body with his tail. There we go. And fill him in. It's a little bit harder because the yellow's already there and it's not really dry. Probably should have waited until the yellow was dry, but that's all right. There we go. And then we'll put 2 little black dots for eyes on him. Boop. And boop. Okay, you guys. So now we have the front and the roof done. We got some spider webs on it. I kind of feel like maybe I need another spider web like right here maybe. I just don't want to overload it, but I could make it look like he's coming down to it maybe. Maybe that's a good idea. So let's try here and here and here and here. And then he's on a string going to here, okay? And we should probably have that string attached to something else up here, okay? And then maybe one more long one that attaches it down here, okay? This one I'm just gonna do circles again. And there we have it, you guys. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I kind of feel like though it looks a little awkward. Here, let's continue this way and this one a little bit this way. This one maybe go into the door. And this one attached to there. There we go. Okay. All right, you guys. So now this is all done as far as what I'm going to do before I put it together. So I'm going to let this all dry probably at least all day, maybe even into tomorrow before I come back and put it together. Then we will put it together and then add just some little touches here and there of stuff. Okay, so I'll see if I can do it tonight and get it in tonight. I will. Otherwise, it'll have to wait until tomorrow. Okay, you guys. So I will be back as soon as we're ready to assemble this. Okay, you guys, so it is actually the next day. I decided to wait. I had too much other stuff going on yesterday to put it together. So now we're gonna go ahead and put it together. It's actually turned out really cute so far, I think. And I am going to be using a pan to put it together. Reason being is because I kind of want to do like a yard out front. And what I'm going to do is gonna make a mess if it doesn't have a little bit of walls. And you'll see what I mean when we get there. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this together. So this is my back door, okay? And I am actually going to use some cans to help stabilize this while I put it together. Now, I do think that I did not cook, let me make sure that's straight. These, at least this piece and this piece, the back and the front of the house long enough, which is why they're a little bit flimsy. They are done. They're just not quite as hard. So I probably should have cooked them longer. You know, I had it, this is the first time I've done a bigger house type thing. So keep that in mind whenever you're doing this, you know, just because one project only took a little bit of cooking time does not mean the next one will. The bigger they are, the longer they're gonna take, okay? So I'm using these cans to kind of help support while I get the walls up. And so we've got, just put a little stream right here on the back of the house on this side. And then we're just gonna put this on there. And I am gonna move this can over a little bit to try to help support that wall. Okay. We got movement going on. Here we go. Okay. So we have hopefully got that in there. Now what I'm also going to do here real quick is add some in. Oh my, and it just broke. That's what I was worried about. It's just too flimsy. Oh no. Oh no, guys. So you're supposed to be able to fix this, but I don't know, this cookie is so soft. I may not be able to get it to stand, and that's gonna really suck if that's what happens. Okay, so let's try. I'm gonna let that sit for a minute and let's put some, I took some of the frosting off, so we're gonna put some more on here. And then we're gonna try this again. It's very upsetting. Okay, so let's let that sit for a minute and let's try the other wall. I didn't know that the walls were flimsy too. I didn't, see, this one doesn't feel that way. It's so strange. Okay, so. It's very strange that that one is flimsier than the other. It's almost like I got that one thinner, but they should all be rolled out to about the same amount, because, you know, I used a rolling thing that did it. Okay, so I'm just gonna hold this in place for a few minutes, few seconds here, few minutes, whatever. Okay, while I'm holding that, I'm gonna put some more frosting in the corner. Hopefully if I can get there and move this can at the same time without everything collapsing on me. Even if I do get this together, the whole thing just might collapse, because like I said, I really don't know that any of it is strong enough. I'm hoping that once it gets together, it will be, but I really don't know. So I'm just putting some more frosting right here in the corner, trying to help hold it together. Moving this can back in. Hopefully that will kind of help. Okay, so far, that one is standing up, okay? So what I might do with this one, instead of trying to, maybe I'll, oh no! I just bumped it. Okay, so let me get this. And can I stick a key in here too? There we go. Okay. Just kind of make them stay together. Okay. So I want to flip this one around, and I'm going to put this weaker end that I've tried to repair here at the top. But first, let's get some more icing. Oh, we already have icing on there. Okay. So, see if we can get it to do it. Maybe. Okay. I think we've got it, although that's trying to fall. So, I think what I'm going to do, first of all, move this over. Okay. Stay. Okay, so everything's kind of balanced right now, so that's good, although this is moving again. All right, and I want to move this over and try to get in here again with some more icing. Please don't move that wall. Just move that out of the way. No. Jeez. Well, this is not going so good, you guys. Not going so good at all. This piece keeps coming off. Like I said, I don't even know, how did that get so... And now the whole house is going to collapse. Okay, you guys, so I'm going to keep working on this, and I will come back, see if I can get it to stay together. If I can't, well, then this just might be a bust for a haunted house, which really stinks because it's really cutely decorated. But I will try to keep putting it together, and then I'll come back. Okay, you guys, so I finally got it up. It's being supported right now by cans while it's drying. So that is a little bit like here, there's a big indent where it's a little bit crooked. I can't show you guys real close right now because I can't move it too much. So I'm going to just let this sit and dry for a little bit before I put the roof on. And I'll come back in probably like, I don't know, maybe an hour or so, and then we'll put the roof on it and hopefully finish up the decorations. Let's hope it makes it. Whew. Okay, so I'll be back in just a little bit. Okay, you guys, so unfortunately this gingerbread house is just not going to come together. It just is too soft to support itself. So I've learned a lesson about making sure I bake my pieces long enough that they get hard enough to support themselves. And I just didn't do that with this time. This is the first time I've worked with bigger pieces. And I didn't even really think about the cooking time. I just kind of cooked them to about the same amount of time as I had cooked all of the other projects, which ended up not working out. But this is a very cute thing to do, to put together a little haunted, house. I was going to actually use the pan, which I don't know where it's right here. I was going to use the pan and pound up some Oreos into little crumbles, and I had some nice gummy worms, and so around it I was going to create like a yard with some worms in it, and then also maybe even take some coconut and dye it a little bit of a colored green, sprinkle that around for maybe little patches of grass. And then we were going to have I had some leaf candies that for decoration. I was going to kind of toss that around on the yard too. And then also some little of the autumn candy corns that have the pumpkins in them. And I was going to place some pumpkins around the front of the house. We would have trimmed the house out with probably some orange and brown Reese's peanut butter or Reese's Pieces. And then maybe done a few other things to it just to kind of dress it up. But unfortunately, it's just not stable enough. It's breaking even more as I try to put it together. So this one was a bust. So I will be back to try another some kind of haunted house or haunted mansion or something. And I will definitely make sure that I bake the cookies long, or the gingerbread long enough to make sure it gets nice and hard. So we learned from our mistakes, but it was still a really cute idea and a really cute design. So I hope you guys will try it yourself if you're interested and trying out some gingerbread. Okay, so that's it for this video. I hope you guys liked it. Like and subscribe if you like, or don't if you don't. Everyone have a good day. Enjoy your cookie. Keep your kitchen messy, and we'll see you later. Bye.